So I mentioned on Instagram the other day that I was really going through a rough patch. I was having several really hard days in a row, and it's just so easy to feel discouraged. I think now more than ever. But in this video, I then want to share with you 10 natural ways to feel happier so that you know how to feel happier without medication. These things have made a world of difference for me, and they are scientifically shown in the literature to help boost mood and make us feel better about our lives. Obviously, if you are really struggling and in that very dark place of depression, then please do reach out for professional help, because nothing I say in this video is meant to contradict or replace that professional advice. But again, these are simple, actionable ways that you can feel happier naturally. Before we get into them, let me just get something out here. We live in a day and age where there is a culture of what's called toxic positivity. Let me know in the comments if you are familiar with this term. It's basically the idea that we are so accustomed to believing that we should feel happy that then we feel like there is something wrong with us whenever we are not. And especially when we see other people that seem to have it all together, then it really detracts from our ability to cope with those feelings of unhappiness, and it just feeds this vicious cycle. So I want to get out there from the very beginning that it is totally normal to go through the ups and downs, to have good days and bad days. And again, these natural remedies for how to feel happier are things that you can do when you're in a rut, when you're feeling discouraged and you're looking for an easy way out. The first thing is simultaneously the easiest and the hardest thing to do. That is to turn off devices, block out social media, turn off the news, and really just put your blinders on to stay in your own lane. We live in this 24/7 news cycle, and with social media, we're constantly caught up in that comparison trap where we see the highlight reels of everybody else's life, and it just, it makes us feel worse about ourselves because we don't have that, or our life doesn't look like that, or we're falling apart and everybody else has it all together. And then we know that the media thrive. They make their money on feeding us the negative events that are going on, right? That they are constantly looking for things that are essentially bad news. And when we are tapped into that 24/7, we genuinely are less happy because we are full of fear and anxiety and stress over all these things that we cannot control. So one of the best ways to feel happier naturally is to unplug and just live in the real world. Focus on what is within your power to make better, and then step back from the things that you notice are making you feel anxious and just put them aside, right? If you can't control it, then don't waste your time and energy even thinking about it. Number 2 is to get good sleep. And as a full-time working mom with 3 little kids, believe me, I know how impossible this can feel. Either you're being woken up constantly at night, or there's just always so many things you want to do. You're trying to catch up from a busy day, or you just want to escape and you end up staying up way too late doing something that is not productive. It is so important for us to be on a consistent sleep schedule where we are going to bed and waking up at the same time, so that we can keep our body in alignment with our natural circadian rhythm, which then is where our body is producing certain hormones and certain triggers in our body at different times throughout the day. So if our sleep is off by even half an hour, it literally throws us into jet lag, and then we feel fuzzy, we feel tired, and we are less able to be happy because we don't feel right. So make sure that you have good sleep habits, that you have a good, calming, peaceful, relaxing sleep environment as much as you can, especially if you're a busy mom like me. But again, prioritize sleep above all else. Say no to the things that don't have to happen, and make sure that you are getting the sleep that you need. The third way to feel happier naturally is to journal. Hopefully this is something you are doing already, but it has been scientifically shown that getting our thoughts out on paper really frees us from the weight of the emotions that are wrapped up in our perceptions. We know that we all perceive the world around us through the lens of our own experience and our own biases, and that that's not necessarily reality, but it feels real to us. And those emotions that our perceptions evoke are really, really powerful. So get them out on paper, get them out of your head so that they're not running or living rent-free and running away with your thoughts. Number 4 is to get enough vitamin D. Typically, this comes through being outside and getting some sunshine, and you've surely heard about how real it is to have something like seasonal affective disorder, where if you live in a dark, kind of gray, gloomy climate, you can legitimately feel more depressed and discouraged. So oftentimes taking a vitamin D supplement can be just as effective as getting sunshine. If you are in a place where you can be outside, that's best, but of course then you need to wear sunscreen. The point is just to make sure that you can try and get out in nature, get some fresh air, really get that natural amount of vitamin D. Even just 5 to 10 minutes really does have a really big impact. And then a supplement can be very effective, but vitamin D is crucial for proper mental emotional functioning. The next thing is to take a probiotic. There is so much research showing us the connection between our gut, our digestive system, and our mental state of mind. When our body is not digesting things properly, then we are less able to think clearly and have those good, positive, feel-good emotions running through our veins. The good news is that by taking a probiotic, things that help our body get rid of toxins and then process the food that we take in better, then we easily feel happier. And this is really a great natural remedy that I know you will see good results from. I will link some resources down in the description in case you want to learn more about the connection between digestive health and mental health. Number 6 is then to take a DHA supplement. I cannot speak highly enough about what this has done for me, and I especially saw a lot of great results when I was really struggling with postpartum depression several years ago. Again, talk with your own doctor, medical professional, but something like DHA, good omega-3s, taking a fish oil supplement, and even something like St. John's wort is proven to help boost mood and brain functioning and so forth. So really give it a try. It has done wonders for me. I will link the kind that I like below in case you want to check that out for yourself. Number 7 is exercise. Now this doesn't have to be intense. It doesn't have to be rigorous. You don't need to go run a marathon or even a mile. Simple, just walking, getting your heart pumping, right? That can really make a lot of difference. And it helps your body not only release the stress hormones of adrenaline and cortisol that might have accumulated throughout the process of a stressful day, but then release good hormones like dopamine and serotonin and the things that help your body flush out its system and feel better prepared to take on the world. So even 5-10 minutes of movement goes a long way. The more consistent you can be with this, the better. And obviously exercise has so many other benefits too. So the more exercise, the better, but at least make sure you are moving your body every single day. Number 8 is to be grateful. It has been scientifically shown that gratitude helps us feel happier with our lives, be more content, and feel more satisfied with what we're going through. And the way this works is just really simple. When we focus on things we are thankful for, we are putting our energy and our attention into seeing the positive, seeing the good, instead of focusing on what we lack or what is going wrong. And then the more that we focus on the good, the more we are inviting more and more of that kind of thing into our lives. I've previously spoken on all the benefits of gratitude, so check out that video if you are interested. But the point is to just take a minute or two, sometime throughout the day, maybe morning and night, and jot down whatever little things you can think of that you are grateful for. It doesn't have to be big. It can be super simple. Maybe you're just thankful that you had a hot shower that morning, or it can be really deep, like you are thankful that you have a job that puts food on the table, even if it's something you don't really enjoy. Any way that you can spin things and focus on what you're grateful for, the better, because then it invites and attracts more of the goodness into your life. Number 9 goes back to that gut-mind connection. It is essential that you are eating as clean a diet as possible. Our body just can't digest the processed foods and the high fat content and all the chemicals and genetically modified ingredients that are part of the modern American diet. So really do try and eat whole foods, eat a lot of fruits and vegetables, make sure that you are getting, proper nutrients and carbohydrates, proteins, fats, good healthy fats through nuts, avocados, olive oil, things like that. It's so important to feed your body the nutrients it needs so that it can function the way that we want it to. And so you'll see a huge difference. You'll feel so much better, more happier naturally if you just eat a really healthy diet. And it doesn't have to be perfect, right? It doesn't mean that you never have pizza or you never have McDonald's. It just means that for the most part, you are feeding your body the good things far more often than you are eating the bad things. The 10th way you can feel happier naturally is to really identify the things that bring meaning to your life. And I know this sounds a little out there, right? Like if it was so easy to know the meaning of your life, then of course you would be happy. But you don't have to have it all figured out right now. What I mean here is that you want to be striving to identify the things that bring you joy and then do more of those things. And then simultaneously do less of the things that you notice make you feel worse about yourself, right? Whether there's a situation or a person that stresses you out, that might not be a good influence. Now, I've previously spoken about how enthralled I am with Viktor Frankl's book, Man's Search for Meaning. If you have not read this before, you have to read this book. I will link it for you in the description. But he talks about how we can find meaning in our lives when we feel hopeless. And as someone that survived the concentration camps, if anyone knows what it is like to feel hopeless and without meaning, it is him. So really take his advice to heart. He ultimately says there are 3 ways that we can find meaning in life. The first is through love, right? Through having someone that pushes us forward and that we want to do things for, right? That we are living for that person and for the love that we share with them. Maybe a romantic love, maybe a filial love like parent and child, but somebody that you want to show up as your best self for, whether that person is actually present in your life or not. The second way that we can find meaning in our lives is through work. And ideally, this is something that we do because we're good at it and we enjoy it and we feel like it's our calling, our mission. But, one way or another, work does bring dignity. It brings pride. It makes us feel like we have contributed something to society. And ideally then that we have personally benefited, maybe financially, or at least in terms of the challenge and of the task at hand. But work can be a great source of meaning. And then the third way that we can get meaning in our lives, according to Viktor Frankl, is through service. And so if you are someone that really feels lost, really feels hopeless, I would encourage you to think about starting here. You don't have to know what your purpose is, right? But the more that you focus on what other people need over and above what you feel so depressed about, the more you will start to see that, you do have a way that you can bring light to other people's lives, and maybe your situation isn't nearly so bad as many other people's. And by building connections and really focusing on improving other people's lives, you can't help but feel better about your own. You can't help but feel like you are doing something that matters, and that is a great source of meaning. All right, I want to give you a bonus tip here, and it's something that you can take or leave. Not everybody perhaps agrees with this, but for me personally, one of the most crucial ways that I have been able to really recognize what makes me happy and not is to focus on my faith and to really understand the distinction between happiness as something that is that fleeting emotion that comes and goes and is oftentimes very physiological. It's driven by how our body is doing at any one time, right? Versus joy, which is a choice. It is choosing to see the good, choosing to be thankful, choosing to just see the good all around us. And we can do that no matter how happy or unhappy we are. So, research shows that people who do feel full of faith and who are very strongly attached to their religion, who get a lot of meaning from their religion, they do tend to be happier. So if this is something that you would want to explore, I would encourage you to do so. There are oftentimes people within each religion that you could talk to for advice or for counseling, and plenty of people willing to just give information. So again, take it or leave it, but that's something that has been huge for me. All right, I hope you got great value out of these tips. They are super simple ways to feel happier naturally. So let me know in the comments if you have tried any of these and seen success, whether you have any extra tips for things we can all do to feel happier. Give this video a thumbs up, make sure and subscribe for more videos like this, and then jump straight into these other videos to get some of my top tips on how to de-stress and better manage your anxiety. Have a great day. I'll see you soon.